You can't see him, but he can see every single thing out of place. This is the story of how John Cena's obsession with perfection nearly destroyed everything he built. Buckle up. Part 1. The Morning Ritual from Hell. Let me paint you a picture. It's 4:30 a.m. Most WWE superstars are still sleeping off last night's SmackDown. But John Cena? He's already been awake for 30 minutes. And he's cleaning. Not just cleaning. Deep cleaning. According to multiple sources close to the 16-time WWE champion, Cena's morning routine is insane. We're talking wiping down every surface in his house with antibacterial wipes, organizing his supplements in exact order by size and color, checking door locks multiple times before leaving, sanitizing his phone 3 times before breakfast. But here's where it gets wild. His ex-wife, Nikki Bella, revealed in interviews that Cena would spend up to 2 hours each morning just organizing. While she wanted to have breakfast together, he was arranging protein powder containers by alphabetical order. The WWE Universe knows Cena as the ultimate warrior, the Cenation leader, the man who never gives up. But what they don't know? He can't start his day until every single item in his kitchen is facing forward. Every single label. Think about this. The man who's main evented WrestleMania, survived Elimination Chambers, and conquered the Royal Rumble can't handle a crooked picture frame. His former trainers have said he'd adjust equipment angles for 20 minutes before starting a workout. And get this, Cena admitted in a 2018 interview that he cleans his WWE Championship belts weekly. Not just a quick wipe. Full disassembly, polish every plate, check for microscopic scratches. One belt takes him 3 hours. Most wrestlers display their titles with pride. Cena displays his with perfection, because anything less would literally keep him up at night. And trust me, we're just getting started. Part 2, the hired help nightmare. Now you'd think a millionaire WWE superstar would just hire cleaning services and call it a day, right? Wrong. John Cena doesn't just hire cleaning services, he hires multiple services. And then he supervises them. And then he re-cleans after them. According to insiders, Cena has gone through over 40 different cleaning companies in the past decade. Why? Because none of them could meet his standards. We're talking about a man who created a 75-page manual for how his house should be cleaned. 70.5 pages. The manual includes exact angle for toilet paper, 45 degrees, specific folding patterns for towels, hospital corners only, color-coded cleaning supplies for different rooms, a diagram for vacuum line patterns on carpets. One former housekeeper told a tabloid that Cena once sent her home because she used a lemon-scented cleaner instead of an unscented one. She was 6 hours into an 8-hour shift. He still paid her for the full day, but asked her never to return. You can't see him, but he can see that microscopic dust particle you missed in the corner of his guest bedroom that no one ever uses. Reports suggest Cena spends over $200,000 per year on cleaning services alone. Not because his houses are massive, though they are, but because he needs them cleaned multiple times per week to his exact specifications. And here's the kicker. He doesn't trust them to work when he's not home. So during filming breaks between WWE events, during promotional tours, Cena schedules deep cleans and supervises via security cameras, live, in real time. Imagine being on a film set in Bulgaria, and instead of relaxing between takes, you're on your phone zooming in on a security camera to make sure your housekeeper is using the correct microfiber cloth color for the kitchen counters. That's John Cena's reality. Part 3, relationships in the danger zone. Now we're getting into the really heavy stuff. John Cena and Nikki Bella were WWE's power couple. The total Bella's star and the face that runs the place. They seem perfect together. But behind the scenes, Nikki has been remarkably open about how Cena's OCD affected their relationship. And folks, it's rough. Nikki revealed that living with Cena meant following strict house rules. No shoes anywhere inside, expected. No eating in the living room, reasonable. No moving his belongings even 1 inch, getting weird. No adjusting the thermostat without permission. What? No overnight guests without 48-hour notice. Red flag city. In a 2019 podcast interview, Nikki admitted she felt like she was living in a museum, not a home. She couldn't put her purse on the counter. She couldn't leave a coffee mug out for 5 minutes. Everything had its place, and that place was not where she naturally put things. There's a legendary story among WWE insiders about the coaster incident. Nikki had friends over. One guest put their drink directly on a table without a coaster. Cena saw the water ring, and according to sources, spent the next 2 hours treating the wood, researching the stain, and eventually sanding down and refinishing that section of the table. During the party, while guests were still there, the same focus he brings to an attitude adjustment off the top rope, he brought that to furniture maintenance while hosting a party. But here's what breaks your heart. Nikki tried. She really did. She hired organizers to help her learn Cena's systems. She set phone reminders to check if she'd left anything out. She even started therapy to deal with the anxiety of living in someone else's perfectly controlled environment. And you know what? It still wasn't enough. Because OCD doesn't compromise. OCD doesn't meet you halfway. OCD demands 100% compliance, 100% of the time. Their engagement ended in 2018, and while both have been respectful about not blaming each other publicly, Cena's now married to Shay Shariatzadeh, and by all accounts, they're happy. But sources say Shay has a naturally organized personality that meshes better with Cena's needs. Sometimes it's not about changing, it's about finding someone who speaks your language. The WWE Universe supports their champion, but the question remains, should anyone have to organize their entire life around someone else's OCD? Or should that person get help? Part 4. The car collection obsession, all right? Let's talk about something John Cena is famous for, besides WWE, his insane car collection. Classic muscle cars, rare supercars, custom builds. The man has taste and money. But here's where OCD turns a cool hobby into something concerning. Cena owns an estimated $17 million worth of vehicles. Cool, right? Except he barely drives them. Not because he wants to preserve value, though that's what he tells people, but because driving them means they get dirty. Multiple car show attendees have witnessed Cena spending more time wiping down his vehicles than talking to fans. He brings his own cleaning supplies to events. He wears gloves to prevent fingerprints on his own cars. And the Ford G8 controversy? You remember this. In 2017, Ford sued Cena for selling his limited edition Ford GT before the contractual 2-year period ended. The WWE Universe was shocked. But here's the real story insiders whisper about. Cena couldn't handle owning it. The anxiety of maintaining it perfectly, of storing it correctly, of ensuring no one ever touched it, it was too much. Selling it was easier than the mental burden of ownership. He settled with Ford, apologized publicly, and everyone moved on. But the pattern was clear. Cena's relationship with his possessions isn't healthy. It's controlling him. His garage is climate controlled to exactly 68 degrees. Each car has a custom cover. They're parked in specific spots based on color and year. And according to mechanics who've worked on his vehicles, Cena requests detailed photo documentation of every step of any service. We're not talking about a $2 million hypercar getting a full service. We're talking about an oil change on a daily driver. Full photographic evidence, timestamps, written notes. The man has described cars as his passion and his escape. But when your escape gives you this much anxiety, is it still an escape? Or is it just another prison you've built for yourself? Part 5. When OCD goes too far, we've laughed. We've cringed. But now we need to talk about the serious side. When does quirky perfectionism become a legitimate disorder that needs treatment? OCD, obsessive-compulsive disorder, isn't just being neat. It's intrusive thoughts that won't stop until you perform specific rituals. It's anxiety that builds and builds until you give in. It's losing hours of your life to compulsions you know are irrational but can't stop doing. Based on public information and insider accounts, Cena exhibits excessive cleaning and organizing, hours daily, rigid adherence to routines, can't function without them, intrusive thoughts about contamination, germophobia, checking behaviors, locks, arrangements, cleanliness, relationship impairment, documented with Nikki, interference with daily functioning, missing social events to clean. The WWE schedule is brutal. 250-plus days on the road, international flights, different hotels every night, constant physical punishment. And on top of that, Cena's brain is screaming at him about disorder and contamination. Former WWE superstars have talked about the mental health toll of the schedule. Now imagine adding clinical OCD to that mix. Imagine needing to organize and clean a different hotel room every single night to feel safe enough to sleep. Cena has reportedly sought therapy on and off throughout his career. Good. That's healthy. That's what champions do. They ask for help when they need it. But here's the problem. OCD treatment requires consistency. Cognitive behavioral therapy, specifically exposure and response prevention, ERP, is the gold standard. It means facing your fears without performing compulsions. It means sitting with anxiety until it passes naturally. You know what makes that nearly impossible? Flying to a different city every other day for WWE events. The lack of routine, the constant chaos, the very lifestyle that made Cena a legend also makes managing his OCD incredibly difficult. This is where Cena's story becomes a cautionary tale. You can be the most successful person in your field, beloved by millions, wealthy beyond imagination, and still be trapped by your own brain. You can't see him? Sometimes he can't see himself either. Can't see the person buried underneath all the compulsions and rituals. Part 6, the current reality. So where does that leave us? Is John Cena still battling these demons? Is he getting help? Has Hollywood helped or hurt? The transition to acting seems to have been good for him. Film schedules are more predictable than WWE tours. He has a stable home with his wife, Shay. He's been open about being in therapy. Recent interviews show Cena laughing about his perfectionism. Awareness is step one. Delegating more to assistants, letting go of control. Missing fewer social events, prioritizing relationships. Speaking about mental health openly, reducing stigma. He's even joked in interviews about his quirks, which is actually a good sign. When you can laugh at your compulsions, you've gained some distance from them. They don't control you as completely. But let's be real, OCD doesn't just disappear. It's a lifelong condition that requires ongoing management. Cena will probably always be more organized than average. He'll probably always have routines that seem intense to others. The question is, has he found a balance that lets him live and not just exist in perfect order? John Cena taught us that hustle, loyalty, and respect define a champion. But his battle with OCD taught us something else. Even champions struggle with invisible opponents. The real never give up story isn't about kicking out at 2 or winning the Royal Rumble. It's about waking up every day and choosing to face your mental health challenges.